Welcome to the Lounge Lizards podcast. It's so good to have you here. It's a leisure and lifestyle podcast founded on our love of premium cigars, as well as whiskey, travel, food, work, and whatever else we feel like getting into. My name is Gizmo. Tonight I'm joined by Rooster, Pooba, Senator, Pagoda, Grinder, and Bam Bam. A full house of lizards. And our plan is to smoke a cigar, drink some cognac, talk about life, and of course, have some laughs. So take this as your 75th official invitation to join us and become a card-carrying lounge lizard. Plan to meet us here once a week. We're going to smoke a New World cigar tonight, share our thoughts on it, and give you our formal lizard rating. We discuss Caldwell Cigars and their recent setback. We chat about Jay-Z's involvement in tonight's pairing. We celebrate the Masters tournament, and we get frustrated trying to find baseball on TV, all among a variety of other things for the next hour. So sit back, get your favorite drink, light up a cigar, and enjoy as we pair D'Usse Cognac VSOP with Caldwell's Long Live the Queen and Queen Sword. A beautiful Lancero tonight from Robert Caldwell's brand, Caldwell Cigars. It's called Long Live the Queen. It's the Queen's Sword. Of course, it's 38 ring gauge by 7 inches. And unfortunately for Rooster, does not have a pigtail.
What?
It does not.
I'm out. Sorry for the bad news.
But
beautiful Maduro
it
cigar.
is a beautiful cigar.
It smells delicious.
Yeah.
It smells amazing. So I didn't take it out of the wrapper until we sat down, and I just smelled it for the first time, and it smells amazing.
Yeah, it's a good smelling cigar. The band and the double band are beautiful. The design is fantastic.
The designs on these bands from Robert Caldwell are always
Elegant.
like really nice. If you look at the detail of the Queen.
I love that, and I like the lower band, how stark it is with the text. It's really quite nice.
But look at the tear.
Yeah, no, it's
You
awesome.
see the tear coming out of her eye?
This is unique.
And look at how they do use the gloss,
The sheen, yeah.
the sheen in
Yeah.
specific areas of, I guess you'd say her, I don't know, her regal.
It provides good contrast and depth.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
very cool.
So Robert Caldwell, when he founded his company, that he really put a conscious effort into the artwork on the bands and like a thoughtful, prescriptive effort into commissioning artists in Miami Beach to do this cigar art. And when you look at the lithography and the finish, like look, if you tilt it, you can see that her crown has a spot finish on it, and her necklace has a metallic spot finish on it.
Yeah, it's so nice.
It's kind of, it's really very nice. And then with the Eastern Standard, the man's face, that black and white pencil illustration is like really nice. So like he really puts a lot of thought into every band, and it's, to me, I think it pays honor to whether you're a fan of Robert Caldwell or not, and like his cigars or not. I think that kind of thoughtfulness is a refreshing thing in the cigar space.
Yeah.
Did you notice the guy on a unicycle on the side?
No,
Oh yeah, look at that.
look at that detail.
Wow. All right, let's cut this thing, boys.
Yeah.
I was just about to say, are you hallucinating already?
Well, it's interesting,
No,
but
no,
it is interesting.
You know
It's a
what I
good
like?
point.
You
It's
know
a
what I
good
like
point.
about it is we see what the cold draw is like. I just like for all the detail on the band. It's not trying too hard. Like it's very ornate and beautiful, but it's not taken away from the wrapper. It's a beautiful looking cigar.
The cold
Like
draw
I think it's working great.
is really good.
Wow, I'm getting a lot of like milk chocolate, cocoa.
A slight of a hint of fruit and cocoa.
Yeah, there's like a fig flavor. Come on.
The wrapper is beautiful on this cigar. A bit toothy, but really nicely rolled.
Salty,
Yeah, maybe.
palate on the lips.
Yeah.
What's
Yeah.
the price point?
These were not very expensive at all. I think they were
They look expensive.
$12.
They look expensive.
$12, I think.
Guys,
$11, $12.
ready to rate it?
Ready to smoke it.
Everyone's had an orgasm over the cigar already. We haven't even lit it.
It looks fantastic.
All
Let's
right,
smoke.
boys,
Let's
let's
do
light
it.
this thing. The Caldwell Cigars, Long Live the Queen. It's called the Queen's Sword. Again, it's a Lancero, 38 ring gauge by 7 inches. Continuing in our block here, which listeners, by the way, seem to love. Our block of Lanceros and Lonsdales
Mhm.
that we've been on. And I think we've had a lot of nice revelations in this, Cuban and non-Cuban,
We have.
and some fails, but so be it.
Oh, that's so good on the light. I have to admit, it's very good on the light.
This is really flavorful.
It
For
sure
some
i-
reason, I feel like
sure
when we
is.
were talking about this before we hit record, someone suggested this may not be that full, but this has a lot of flavor and body.
It has a really
got
interesting flavor to it.
It's so smooth
Yeah.
in the delivery of that flavor.
I'm impressed.
Yeah.
So this cigar is made in the Dominican Republic at their El Maestro factory, which is a smaller factory owned by a guy named William Ventura. So Caldwell does not have his own factories, I guess.
Is this a Puro?
It's a 4-country blend consisting of Cameroon wrapper, Sumatra binder grown in Indonesia, which is
Wow.
pretty wild, and a mix of Dominican and Nicaraguan filler made in the DR.
Interesting. What a combo.
So what I'm finding interesting about this is that the resistance is a little tighter than I would normally appreciate, but I'm getting great draw
Mm.
and smoke output.
It's comfortable.
The combustion's great.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about the taste in your mouth versus the aroma?
The aroma is dominating the flavor so far.
Yeah, I'm
For
not.
me.
I
I'm,
get the opposite of that.
I find the flavor to be very interesting.
Yeah.
I'm getting I don't know why, but I'm getting like this wonderful aroma, and my flavor on these, at least these first few draws, is so peppery and like stringent.
Wow.
To me, it hasn't caught up to the
Aroma.
aroma that you're getting
Yeah.
from the cigar.
Interesting. Yeah, no, I'm getting on the front a bit of a little bit of saltiness and some earth tones, and on the finish, the middle to finish, cocoa, fruit, and coffee.
I think you nailed that, Bam.
It's really
Getting
good.
a lot of cocoa, a touch of coffee. I'm getting a little bit of that salt that Grinder was talking about.
on the front.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me.
Yeah. I'm gonna retro.
I'm gonna give it a second to kind of cool off from the light and
It's unusual.
add some commentary.
Yeah.
Sometimes with these Lanceros, I feel like they can get hot up front off the light, and then once they just settle down, they change.
So this line just came out in August of 2022. So that's why when I was looking to do a Caldwell, because we had talked about doing Caldwell so many times, we've gotten a few listener emails about Caldwell. I pulled these because they just came out. Reviews seemed good. I liked that it was a Maduro in a Lancero. And I just liked the interesting blend of all the different countries that this tobacco is coming from. It's not a Puro. I think that's kind of cool.
Forgive me. Did you quote the price on these?
Yeah, I think we paid, the MSRP is somewhere around 15, but we paid, I think, 11 or 12.
It's a great price.
Very good value.
I got these from
so far,
small batch cigars. Those guys are
right?
great over
It's
there.
Rooster.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Indeed.
Oh yeah.
I love the combustion.
Mm-hmm.
It's
I'm kind of
perfect.
surprised we haven't gone deeper into this line. Like,
Yeah, this is the first one we've done.
would you consider this like a boutique brand?
I would say it's a boutique brand, but maybe in between. It's not like some tiny thing.
Because
The only place I found these was on small batch cigars.
they do make a lot of stuff.
Yeah, they make a lot, but they recently had a major issue.
There was a fire.
So the fire that they had was at a facility in Florida, right, Puba? It was just it was like their warehouse, their distribution center. They had a massive fire
Yeah,
and lost millions of dollars of inventory of these cigars,
yeah.
which is
so
terrible for
sad.
a company like that. I
Yeah.
mean, I hope it's not devastating for them, but hopefully they can
I'm
recover.
sure it's insured.
I hope so, but
Right. But you're losing so much stock.
yeah, and the time,
Yeah.
especially with a lot of new worlds, they age them,
Mm-hmm.
to try to smooth them out a little bit, keep up with the other Davidoffs, Padrones, So this line comes in 4 sizes, and this is the Queen's Sword, as we mentioned, the Lancero. The Queen's Court is a Robusto 5x52. The Scepter is a Toro 6x50, and the Queen's Club, what they call is a Toro Gordo, is a 56x6. And then I guess there's going to be a very limited run of a 5th size called the Ace of Hearts, which is going to be 52x6. Only going to be $700 of that, which is a little bit like a Robusto Extra. So yeah, our first Caldwell on the pod, boys.
How's everyone doing? 1 inch in, roughly.
I'm about a half an inch, I guess. I'm
I'm
pretty
a half
happy with
inch.
it.
It's settled down, like
Yeah.
settled in, like
Yeah, I like it.
as Poopa would, said earlier. I'm not getting the that punch of flavor that I did on the light.
Mhm.
I'll tell you that.
It's
It's
like a
definitely
little
mellowed
white.
out.
There's like white pepper.
Yes.
It's peppery.
Yeah, that's the
Smooth,
thing that's
though.
standing out to me when I,
Still smooth.
for some reason, the cold draw that was very milk chocolate. I think
chocolate, yeah.
that Gizmo described it as earlier. I was getting a lot of that, and I expected it to be
Mhm.
smooth and creamy but flavorful. At first, I was worried that there were just some rough edges here, but I think it's just a lot of pepper I'm getting right now,
Yeah.
which is overpowering some of the other notes that I like in this. So that's the only thing that's competing right now for me that I'm not that happy about.
What's unusual for me, I'm sorry. So the first half inch, I'm about an inch in, a bit ahead of a few of you. The first half inch was extraordinarily flavorful. After that, the white pepper started to settle in, and it is taking over. But for me, I enjoy that. It's not offensive to me.
I mean, I said it as soon as I lit it. I made the pepper comment, and it hasn't really changed for me. It may have changed from a black to a white pepper.
Mhm.
If we're sticklers.
I don't know us to be sticklers, do you?
Yes. But yeah, I would agree. I would. For me, it's on the palate. I'll pronounce pepper.
Yeah.
Now, I still think the aroma is fantastic, and I'm that's what I'm going for.
Did you try retrohaling?
Yeah,
Yes.
actually,
It's a nice retro hell.
It's
the
okay,
retro
but
hell
it's peppery.
It is
It
peppery, but it's I don't know. I like the as Michael Scott would say, the afterbirth in the palate is still peppery and stringent to me. The retro hell is a lot smoother, and I prefer that over right now the aftertaste.
What I'm finding is that I think the flavors on the light that I was really enjoying,
Yeah. Like I said,
I don't know if they're still there
They're
or
not.
they're gone,
they're gone.
or if they're still there and they're just being overwhelmed by
Could
that
be.
that pepper
It's
thing.
being dominated
Could
by
be.
white pepper.
Yeah,
be.
which is unfortunate because
Mm.
I really enjoyed the light.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see if it changes.
Could
Yeah.
be. How are
So,
you guys?
Sorry, Bam.
Yeah,
I
no.
just want to answer Rooster's
course.
question.
Of course.
So Caldwell Cigars was started in 2013. So that's the reason it's on the band. It was started by a group of friends, obviously headed by Robert Caldwell. And he also owned and operated the Hotel Humidor Company, which was a hospitality-centric cigar company. I guess prior to running the Caldwell.
Doesn't Fuente use Cameroon wrappers on their Hemingway series?
I think it's on the Rare Pinks.
Just the rare pink?
I thought the short story too.
Maybe
Yeah,
the short
story.
story. Maybe
I
you're right.
remember.
I don't
Yes.
remember.
Yeah.
You're right about that. The
So
short
maybe it is on the
stories.
whole line.
And that is
So it must be on the Hemingway series.
yeah, and that is a delicious cigar. That little
Yeah.
guy.
This is pepper. But this is different than my previous experience with Caldwell. Like this is a little bit.
Better or worse?
No, it's like the Eastern Standard, and then the Long Live the King in Maduro was not like this is a different cigar. I mean, it's
Doesn't the Eastern Standard use a Connecticut?
yes,
It's a lighter wrapper.
it's a lighter
right?
wrapper, but like the Long Live the King, was in a Maduro wrapper, and that cigar it was just different. I mean,
Wait, is it Long Live the King or King is Dead?
They have two.
Oh, they have
They
both.
they have both.
Oh, okay.
There's Long Live the King and the King is Dead. I've had
What's-
both of them. They were both good. I mean, they were good, but this is more peppery than any of those.
I'm gonna go out on a limb here, and maybe you guys will laugh at me later. The pepper flavor for me is really awful. I don't like it at all. The aroma is still great. The retro hail is great. The pepper taste, the finish on this so far is unpleasant, and I'll use stringent. It's kind of it's bitter.
yeah, I don't disagree.
I will say this may sound like a disagreement. I don't know if we're talking about the same aroma, but at the burn line, which you guys always see me doing that, sniffing the burn line very close.
Just like
I
this.
I don't think it smells very great. but the aroma of the smoke coming off is fine.
Yeah.
But the burn line, which I'm constantly
Yeah.
No, I mean I'm
you're
like
referencing.
yeah,
the,
I'm referencing this
the
and
smoke coming
yeah.
off.
Yeah, when the smoke pulls away from the cigar, it's,
Yeah.
it's a bit better.
And the recycling of what I'm puffing out of my mouth as well, and that's kind of cooler. The smoke changes a little bit from right off the burn, you know.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you. It's not.
How are you?
So far, it's not a good.
How are you guys feeling about the spirit tonight?
I haven't sipped it yet. I'm very excited about it.
I haven't either.
All right, so pronounce it for me again, Senator. What's it called? It's D'Usse.
D'Usse. That's
It's
right.
French.
Yes.
Just like.
Cheers.
Did Jay-Z come up with that name?
Cheers, gents.
Cheers, boys.
Yeah.
D'Usse. A little cognac VSOP tonight.
Cognac.
Ooh,
Yeah.
ooh,
So I have to say,
that's a little harsh.
it's not like the other
That's
XOs.
not
that-
yeah.
That's
that
a
we've had.
VSOP.
It's not an EXO. It's a VSOP.
I'm sorry. Okay, it's not like the other VSOP that we've had, or honestly, any other cognac that we've had so
Yeah.
far.
And to me, this tastes closer to a VS than a VSOP.
Yeah.
To me, it doesn't taste good.
Didn't we try one of these VSS probably, right?
One. Yeah.
Mhm.
It's
I forget the brand.
brand, but
Was it either
I'm
Remy
getting-
or
No, it was.
Hennessy?
No, it's
What-
a smaller brand.
It wasn't Hein, was it?
No.
No.
Croisé.
Croisé.
Yeah.
That's right.
I'm waiting.
That's right.
I'm waiting for Puba's reaction. He just. took
Yeah.
a
That's
sip.
today.
What's the verdict?
It may honestly.
I think it might need an ice.
It may need a chip of ice.
Well, I have a chip of ice in mine. It's approachable, but I mean,
that could
Can we
help.
pass around a cube of ice?
Yeah, let's pass around the ice bucket.
Let's do that.
So this is a good kind of learning experience for us because most VSOPs, honestly, this is a mid-range spirit of VSOP, right? There's VS, which you would never drink neat. VSOP that sometimes you would drink neat, but a lot of them still need ice. And then XO, it's like a sin to put ice in that glass.
That's true.
So some of them need it. I mean, honestly, as much as I like Remy VSOP, there are times that if you open a fresh bottle of Remy VSOP that you're like, it's got some rough edges and you may just want a little bit of ice to kind of tone it down. So I think this falls in that
Wow.
camp. But I will say the flavor profile on this is very like rich and deep, and you get some like citrus and fruit, but then even like a little bit of cocoa on the finish that kind of reminds me a little bit of Macallan.
Really?
That's what I get. Yeah.
This to me tastes more like a Scotch than
Yeah.
it
Well,
does.
yeah.
than it
It's a
does a
richer,
cognac.
deep-
This is
Deeper.
true.
Like if you told me this was a single malt, I'd be like, all right, that's a really interesting
Of all the
Flavor
cognacs
profile
that
for
we've
that.
had, this one has the most bite,
100%.
which is not always an offensive thing. This tastes okay, but there is a little hint of like a medicinal type of a thing for me that I'm getting that I'm not liking.
I don't get the medicinal. Honestly, the thing I do like about the finish, that little bit of cocoa. I know it's weird to say, but I swear if you have Macallan Sherry, you get just a little hint of it on the finish, and I get that here. I like the deep flavor of this. I don't like the delivery of it. I mean, with ice now, this is opening up.
It's much
and
better with
this
ice.
is
Way better with ice.
like night and day. But the flavor profile itself, I don't have a problem with at all.
Yeah,
I haven't noticed anything different.
I'm
in this.
kind of moving toward Grinder's camp on this one.
yeah.
a bit.
I haven't noticed much difference.
Yeah.
I've let it open up enough. I've
What do
tasted
you
it.
think, Pagoda?
Yeah, for me, I think it started off with the real sharpness, and then it's like you got the flavor profile, and then just fell flat. It's like I can't
Yeah.
describe it.
I'm with you I'm confused by it. It's a little perplexing. It's kind of not. It's a little anticlimactic.
When you say anticlimactic, that resonates with me in the sense that I do think the finish is a bit short.
Short.
For like how much flavor there is on the front of your palate when you first start sipping it. On the finish, it just so quickly
It's
dies.
very dry almost.
Yeah. So that I'm with you. That's
It's kind of like the cigar.
But dry in like not the good way, like a dry tequila, maybe. You know, like where that dry finish with the tequila because the upfront has so much complexity that you want. It just doesn't.
well,
Yeah, I'm not into it. I'm just not into. I'm not that into this. Like I wouldn't buy it.
Agreed.
Well, the funny thing about this validates there's a really interesting story behind this cognac, and a huge legal battle, especially that kind of culminated recently around all this just last year, and I think got settled either late that last year or early this year. The funny thing is now hearing, I've never tried this before. This is my first time, like everyone here, having this, and I think this is an average spirit. I don't think there's anything special about this. I think very much validates the lawsuit that happened over this spirit. So the story basically goes that D'Usse was created by Jay-Z, and he partnered with this guy, Michel. Let me look up his name. He's very famous in the cognac industry. Michel Casavecchia, who created this in 2012, but it's made in one of the oldest cognac houses in the cognac region. It's over 200 years old. And so there's a ton of history there, like very respected. This guy is a huge deal. So very smart on Jay-Z's part. This is the guy that you basically want making cognac. So they build this brand. He has this great master distiller produce the actual spirit. Bacardi partners with Jay-Z to bring this to market. So Bacardi and Jay-Z are the majority shareholders that own the brand and company and are bringing this to market.
Let me guess, Bacardi ruins everything.
Not that they changed anything. They just there were some financial challenges, financial battles between them and Jay-Z. So it comes to market. Now, we're all saying this is a mediocre spirit. No one here is singing its praises. The irony is this is the fastest growing brand in the entire cognac category globally.
Well,
by
I
far.
can't imagine why.
there's a reason why.
Right. Jay-Z.
Of course.
And he knows that. And he deserves that.
Cognac ain't one.
There you go.
Yeah, boy. Yeah.
He has some problems, but it ain't cognac, I guess.
So very cleverly, he obviously is able to market this for them. It explodes. And he eventually says that he wants to sell all or a big portion of his ownership stake in the brand because he's built it so much. Now the valuation's really high. And so he wants to cash out on that. And Bacardi, for him to value the business, he needs to understand the sales, all the numbers. So Bacardi manages all that, right? He's not in the spirit business, and from the manufacturing perspective, Bacardi's doing all that. So he asked Bacardi for all the sales, all the numbers, so that he can value his stake in the company, and then he wants to sell it. They're being really shady, and they won't share any of these numbers with him. And so everything's kind of a guessing game. And he says, well, I'm selling my shares of the company. And if you're not going to give me this, I can only guess what this is worth. And so based on the market, I think my shares are worth $1.5 billion. Bacardi says to him, well, sorry, we're only going to pay you like $380 million for it. And he's like, well, that's bullshit. Put some numbers behind that, and maybe I'll agree to that.
Didn't they cook the books?
I don't. No. They just hid the books. They didn't. Cook
hid
anything.
the books.
They hid the
Okay.
books. That was the problem. So Bacardi's offer, not 360, was 460 million. Jay-Z was claiming it was worth closer to $1.5 billion. Jay-Z files a lawsuit. The sale basically, I think, eventually goes to arbitration, where they forced Bacardi to give him the numbers, basically. And what they eventually settled at was Bacardi paying him $750 million, but not for all the shares of it that he owned, for a portion of it. So that tells you that his stake was worth closer to $1.5 billion, exactly like he said. And they convinced him to still stay significantly invested. So I think he still owns maybe 20-25% of the business, to keep growing the brand. So he basically got to cash out $750 million, which he would argue for his hard work. Without him, I mean, this proves it. Us trying this, I knew nothing of this brand before this, but now I side with him. I mean, clearly he built this brand. It's not the spirit that's selling. It's the confidence of, a celebrity is behind this.
And look at our experience tonight, right? In the liquor store.
Yeah.
Let's try that because of the interesting story. We haven't had it.
That's exactly right.
Interesting thing. Every liquor store I've been in has this product. It's very well placed in the marketplace.
Yeah. Well,
It's-
having Bacardi as your distributor
yeah,
doesn't
it's-
hurt.
it's everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
it's
does
everywhere.
that segue into how, like, the quality of the spirit though?
No, it just segues into, like, clearly the emperor has no clothes, in that, like, this is not a particularly great spirit. This is just great marketing, and it's got the backing of a global icon, celebrity, whatever you want to call him.
Well,
That's how it's grown faster than anything in the category.
It's
and
amazing to me that they
similar-
were $1 billion off, though. Like, that's a big delta.
Yeah, but it's not really, because it's $750 million. They actually paid him that. So if he's got 25% left of that, that's basically $1 billion, and that's supposed to grow. So whatever, it was pretty close to what he was asking.
Yeah.
No,
for,
but I'm
is what
saying that it's amazing that they came back and thought that they'd get away trying to pay him
Right. Trying to
$460
lowball
million
him.
bucks
Yeah.
when he has a stake that's worth over $1 billion.
Yeah,
arguably.
there's still three multiple out. You know,
Of course.
they're a third of what they would have paid him for the full thing.
Exactly.
Any idea what the
It's like-
initial investment
Exactly.
was?
That I'm not sure. That's not disclosed.
20 grand.
But
That's like Warren Buffett, Berkshire Hathaway.
Sure it is.
I give him a lot of credit in all this because he also has done something similar with a champagne brand that he owns. And it's like he finds like the best of the best to help produce the product, gets the distribution channel, puts his name on it and backing behind it, markets the hell out of it, and takes this
Smart.
completely unknown entity,
Smart.
makes it huge, and he's able to cash out
Yeah.
big time.
So here's my question with this cognac, right? You're telling me he hired what is the best of the best guy. So how does the best of the best guy produce something that we're sitting here saying is mediocre at best?
It's a good question. So they
Sure.
only produce two different types of this, the VSOP and an XO. I would have to imagine that the XO is probably very good. I would try it at some point just to try it. I
Sure.
mean, this is what we do here. I think that the VSOP, Jay-Z, it sounds like wanted a richer, deeper flavor profile, which very much I think aligns with a lot of our flavor profiles. We love Mac 12 and some of
It's
these
true.
others that are in that category. But I think clearly he couldn't do it in a way at only 4.5 years of age that is smooth and doesn't have those rough edges. I would have to imagine if you let this age, and I'm sure obviously the blend is a little bit different, that rich flavor profile would be there, but delivered incredibly smoothly. And that would be a far more interesting spirit.
How much was that bottle?
68.
That's
Okay.
a lot of that's
At that place
and
next
that's
door.
an
though. I
inflated-
think most
that's an
places
inflated,
you'd
yeah.
probably find that 55, 60
Yeah.
bucks.
Okay.
Yeah, right.
So
right.
it's not.
It's a nice presentation. The bottle's really nice.
It's a beautiful bottle.
It's a cool bottle with
Beautiful.
a copper looking type of
And honestly, the color of the spirit's gorgeous.
yeah.
Yeah, it's very rich looking.
So again, I'm just interested in, if you're the best of the best cognac master distiller in the world, I understand the XO maybe is incredible. But when you also put your name on a VSOP that's delivering, maybe it is a good Scotch comparison or something. But as far as cognac goes, this does not compare to
Dude,
any of the other VSOPs we've had.
That Remy 1738 blows this out of the water.
Absolutely.
Out of
Which
the
it's not a
water.
VSOP. It's in between a VSOP
that-
and an XO.
Yeah,
Heinz
that's a high up. But both Heinz
Understood.
that we did. We did 2 Hein VSOPs.
And they were
No,
both.
one Hein VSOP sucked. The other was great.
Yeah,
Oh, that's right. That's
the
right.
Hein Rare was excellent.
Yeah.
That was excellent.
The H by Hein we hated.
Yeah, the Rare blew this out of the water as well.
Marketing, guys. It's
Yeah.
it's
But that's
amazing.
really what it
It's
comes
very
down to. And
powerful.
I
It's very
honestly like
powerful.
the
It's
whole
awful.
celebrity endorsement. Like it's very clever. I mean, I'll fully admit, and Grinder will find this funny because I brought this bottle to a birthday bourbon tasting he had once. Michter's, we've talked about a bourbon that is universally regarded as an excellent bourbon. They make some very high end stuff that goes for a lot of money. I only tried Michter's because I would watch Billions on Showtime. And all of a sudden, I noticed there's this intense product placement of a bottle of Michter's. It was the Michter's 10, which is like $400 a bottle. And it was always on Bobby Axelrod's desk in that. And I'm like, this is a show called Billions about a billionaire. If they deem this a spirit that a billionaire would drink, I'm like, it's got to be pretty good. I mean, there's no you wouldn't put a bottle of Remy VS on a billionaire's desk. Obviously, they're not going to drink that. So I just on blind faith went into a liquor store, bought it, tried it. I'm like, wow, this is pretty good. I gave it to a friend of mine who's a really big bourbon drinker. He loved it. And then I had brought it to this bourbon tasting and it scored high there. So there's merit to this kind of celebrity marketing because sometimes you end up, it does work out, but a lot of the time it's bullshit. And
Well, let's also
obviously-
let's also be clear though that
that's
Billions,
product placement.
there's a lot of product placement on Billions.
Yeah.
yeah.
A lot of paid for product
It's
placement.
true.
Yeah,
on that show.
right, and they're also they're playing both ends against them. I mean, the producers are going, "This is what this person would drink," and then whether they have an agreement with HBO Max or not, who knows about the placement, but they're doing it to honor the creative. In other words, to make it real. Like those details are the details that make that make it authentic. I mean,
Even here though, it's the same thing. Like with D'Usse, if you watch the Grammys this year, there was I guess Beyonce was honored for something maybe at it, and that they show the camera pans to the table and Jay-Z sitting there right next to her, and he's got a big bottle of D'Usse on the table.
Sure.
And you're sitting there saying, like, if this billionaire, if it's good enough for Jay-Z, it's got to be pretty good.
well, that's right. But he's also a billionaire. He's got an equity stake. What I'm saying is, on Billions, the creatives on the show, they're never going to sacrifice the authenticity, I don't think, of what Bobby Axelrod would drink, whether it's a product placement or not.
Totally. But I'm saying, I fundamentally don't believe that Jay-Z is going to drink a spirit regularly that he doesn't enjoy.
Absolutely.
And so that's why, like, I think the XO is probably pretty damn good.
So here's my question on this. I'm here. You know, you said that you had a friend that loves bourbon that likes it. We're talking about maybe a comparison to Mac 12 in a way, some Scotch. Is this a bridge to cognac, like the Jay-Z is kind of thrown out to his fan base to say, hey, try this cognac. It's a little closer to what you like, and maybe spend a little more on the XO, and that's a real cognac experience. I don't
know
understand
about that. I think if someone has never had a glass of cognac and has this, may never go back to cognac ever again. That's my opinion. I don't know.
It's not that good, guys.
It's not.
I'm not saying it's great.
Yeah.
I'm just asking.
No one's saying it's great.
Yeah. I will say I love Jay-Z. I love Beyonce even more.
I don't know anything about him, but
I do not like the spirit.
The
Sorry.
drink. I mean, you know,
you know, XO should be better than this.
We should try it.
No doubt about it.
We should try it. Yeah.
All right, boys, we're into the second third here on the Caldwell Long Live the Queen, Queen's Sword. It's gotten a little better for me. I'm definitely happier than I was, I would think, in the middle of the first third.
I agree with Giz.
It's smoother.
The pepper really, what Grinder was talking about earlier, I was in full lockstep. I mean, the pepper was off-putting.
Yeah, overwhelming.
And forget white pepper. It was black pepper for a lot of it. But about halfway through or almost there, wherever I am, that has dissipated. And now I'm starting to get some of the sweeter, more enjoyable flavors of the cigar. So the first third was a dud, but right now this is settling into something that is smokable.
I actually stopped smoking it, so I just relit it so I can maybe catch up.
Based on the merits of the conversation. There you go.
But there is still pepper.
There is still pepper.
A little, but not.
The retro hail
that's
is
all I
not
was
as
getting.
pronounced.
So just backing up on what Senator said, I am getting some of the original notes right on the light, but it's very, very subtle. It's not backing into anything that's substantial as far as the sweet notes that we had.
I'm still waiting.
Not for me, anyway.
the construction on the smoke is terrific.
It's beautiful.
It's
very well
rolled. It's
constructed.
really rolled well.
Beautiful cigar.
But for me, for my palate, that pepper's still there. Yeah, yes, everything's mellowed out and kind of settled in. All the oils are kind of like coming out, and the cigar is becoming a little bit more balanced. But that notwithstanding, for me, there's something. It's strange. It's not like awful for me, but it's just not that great for me. There's something off-putting about.
Yeah, I'll talk about it.
I'm sorry. We're
I
just.
don't understand. There's a sidebar going on.
I don't know
during my commentary.
I'm just sitting here.
Look at Bam's cigar.
We are completely confused how Bam is almost finished with the cigar, and I'm only halfway through. Like
for
the
the
rest
listener,
of you guys.
for the listener, I'm not almost finished. I've got almost the final third.
Yeah,
And
this
I don't want to interrupt what Poopa is saying, but it is
You
much.
did.
I'm sorry.
You're like an alien.
I am. So it is.
You're like a draw master machine.
I have to-
as a human.
It is much more smokable at this point. I have to say, it's gotten better.
Clearly, you're enjoying it.
Yeah, and no, it's gotten better. It has gotten better. I'm not
Really,
gonna-
I mean, look at my cigar. I'm like barely through the first
I-
third,
I-
and you're in the last third.
you got to get through hell to get to heaven. All right. So go through the hell. You're
Yes,
getting.
That's
I
a
mean,
that's a
I
good
don't
note
know,
for the
man.
listener.
gotta-
Is that a BAM-ism, or is that because I never heard
I
that
live my
one.
life by that.
I don't know. Maybe somebody would. There's somebody out there who probably like enjoys this type of a flavor profile. It's not like it's terrible, but it's just, it's kind of meh.
Yeah.
For me.
Yeah.
There's like some off-putting qualities, and then there's nothing that throws it over the top.
I think the way I would describe it, there are a number of flavor notes in this cigar, and the ones that I would prefer to be the most pronounced are not.
I
And
agree.
the ones
That's
that I
exactly
wouldn't
right.
are.
Right.
That's exactly
And so
right.
for someone who maybe loves a pepper bomb of a cigar and wants those other sweeter, fruitier, chocolatey notes to be more in the background, then this will be great for them.
That's what it is.
But for someone like I think most, if not all of us, who prefers those like chocolate, dried fruit,
yeah.
dessert notes to take the lead and the pepper to be in the background, this doesn't do that.
No, but it does. As you get through it, the pepper dissipates. It will dissipate. Just got to get.
I
through
kind
it.
of feel it on the back of my tongue.
Exactly.
I do too.
Yeah, sure.
Exactly.
I do too.
I do.
Like that
Yeah.
harshness.
Yeah, exactly right.
It's
Feel it all
right on
over.
the back. It's
Exactly
exactly
right.
on the back of your tongue.
Yeah, I don't know in any scenario where this would fit into a rotation. I'm certainly.
You mean the scenario where mine's in the ashtray?
I had to I put mine down for good, like maybe
Mine's
10,
done.
15 minutes
I'm
ago,
not
and I
smoking.
relit it because everyone said it was changing, but apparently only Bam said that he loved it.
You
So
well, I am really far ahead, so I think you got to get through hell to get to heaven.
okay.
Yeah.
What if hell is
So
just too
there is
too
some
hellish?
hope. So there is some hope.
There is a little hope on this one. I think.
I'm not urged to put it down.
Right?
I've done that before.
Yeah.
We've had other cigars that it's really I'm suffering through. This is not a cigar I'm going to reach for or buy again, but it's not something that I'm like suffering right now. I'm
with you.
fine.
I'm
Yeah,
with
I
you.
agree. If the pepper bomb in the beginning were still here, I'd have to put it down.
Right.
But
Yeah, and I think
it's
that-
at least taken enough of a back seat that I can continue to smoke it. I'm
Sure.
just not loving
And
what I'm
it's
having.
given me enough that I think that the final third might be interesting. We'll see.
Pagoda. What's
Pagoda,
up?
what's up?
No, nothing. Like a part of me was feeling that. I think you used the word stringent. I was trying to look whether it's mustiness or was it a little bit of pungent. I don't know. There was something which
Yeah.
was in the beginning. I think that's also dissipated now. But now it's just like a smoke. I'm not getting the sweetness I'm seeking.
I
you know?
said stringent, and I also said bitter. And I think for me, the stringency is still there, but the bitterness is really amped up.
Oh, really?
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, I'm out.
So-
And for that, like Mr. Wonderful would say, I echo that grinder. And for that reason, I'm out.
Sounds like Shark Tank.
That's
Mr. Wonderful.
Mr. Wonderful.
That's my man right there.
You sounded more Cuban than Mr. Wonderful, but we'll take it.
So something else I'm out on, which is a good segue. Grinder was texting the group chat today with a constant frustration with the Major League Baseball organization and the way that they've sold their TV rights. It is impossible to watch a baseball game. Have you guys experienced this?
The whole concept is ripe for disruption right now because they're still operating on this like disseminated network of cable news and local TV network stations that just don't fucking exist anymore. Like who watches local news kind of thing. But they're doing it on a national level because it's Major League Baseball and they can't do it. And they haven't adapted to streaming very well. So as a result, you have this unbundled mess of a nest that you have to navigate to find all your baseball games. I have all these subscriptions and I can't watch a Phillies game. And I can't even watch they're playing the Yankees and I can't even watch the game. And I live in northern New Jersey, by the way. We all do.
Yeah.
And I can't fucking watch the Yankees. And I'm thinking, I'll go on MLB Network.
Nope.
Everything this
It's
so
gotta
I
be
so I
yes.
get MLB,
It's gotta be
I
yes.
but
hate-
I don't have yes
I
because
hate-
I'm not a Yankee fan.
I hate to be the one to break it to you, Grinder. You live in the wrong market to watch the Phillies.
Uh-oh.
Well, today was a Yankees game. But here's my problem with it.
But I mean, yeah.
No, my issue with it is that not only is it difficult because they have them on ESPN. Let's just talk Yankees, right? But this goes for pretty much any market in the country. They have them on ESPN, Amazon Prime. Some games are on Yes Network. Some games are on Apple TV. Some games are on Hulu and NBC.
Mets play on what?
SNY.
SNY, yeah.
But the problem is not only is it difficult to find them, but it's also the information isn't out there as to where the game is being broadcast. You go to I went to MLB.com and looked at the game. It said NBC Sports Network.
yeah,
It's
good
like,
luck.
no, it's on Yes Network.
Yeah.
Like, I don't
Well,
understand.
it's always on. Yes.
No, it's not.
It's
Because
not.
sometimes it's on
There's some
Apple
games,
TV exclusively.
Well, yeah.
Sometimes it's on Prime exclusively. And it's not only the issue of these, like you said, the nest of all these freaking subscription services you have to get to, but they don't tell you which one it's on.
It's highly confusing to navigate, and
It is.
actually it's just dumbfounding. There's no answer. I still don't know the answer.
My grandmother died at 94. She watched every Yankee game, every single one that she could find on her television at home. I can't imagine these Yankees fans who've been fans forever, who are seniors, who are people trying to navigate this, trying to find these
that's
games.
tough.
It's torture.
Yeah.
They just want to watch a baseball game.
She wasn't a Phillies fan?
No, she was a Yankees fan. That's how I became.
But a
woman.
Yankees fan in northeastern Pennsylvania, where I'm also from, you have the unique opportunity to have access to New York and Philadelphia.
Yeah, you get
sports
both.
teams.
Yeah. But I just think that, MLS, is a much smaller organization, no doubt. But they did a great job. Every single game is on Apple TV. It's the only place you can find
Well,
them.
nobody else wants them.
Okay. One place.
That's not nice.
One place you can find it. But I'm saying that's a great model to get all 30 MLB clubs to rally around, sell the rights for $1 kajillion to YouTube TV or something that everybody can get to, put them all in one place.
I'm with you. Here's my thing. I agree. All of the games should be on Yes Network. Period. Right.
Agree.
Like, that's why I have cable. I only pay for cable and I can't cut the cord because that's the only way I can watch the Yankees and the Nets. I don't have a problem with them selling rights to Amazon or Apple or whoever the hell they want to, but that should be an additional broadcast for people who live out of the New York market to have access to be able to watch just those games. But it is ridiculous that I pay to have the Yes Network, and there are some games that do not get broadcast on. Now, today actually was on Yes, so I could see today's game. But there are some games where I have to turn on Amazon Prime, or I have to, which I at least have, but Apple TV, I don't pay for their premium thing. I can't watch, and the broadcast, by the way,
so bad.
is horrendous.
Yeah,
on
it's
Apple
not Michael
TV.
K and those guys. It's a totally different broadcast
It's
team.
awful.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's unwatchable.
It's hard to listen to. Yeah.
I do like for MLB TV, because I got MLB TV thinking like, oh, I'm out of network for the Phillies. At least I can watch all the Phillies games there, and then I'll deal with. I'm not going to get the home games as well,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
At least with MLB, I can, when I'm looking, I was watching baseball all day today in the background as I was doing work, because I got on at the kick trying to get find the game, and then I just watched these other games, and I loved it because there's all these games that I can watch, and then when you click in, if it's not blacked out or blocked out, whatever, blacked out,
Yeah.
you have the option to watch the broadcast in either of the networks. So
The
I was
home or the
watching the
away
Tampa.
team. Yeah.
I was watching the Tampa Bay game, which is a great team, by the way. I was switching between the Washington network and the Tampa Bay network, and it was pretty cool to watch. Like, just to get some. If you're like baseball, it's cool to like see the different announcers and watch the game from a different perspective. I don't know. I like that. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, but it comes to a point like, how many subscriptions are we going to need?
It's insane.
I think I have 10 or 12.
Oh, that's outrageous.
It's crazy.
It's like
Well, you gotta share.
We're paying more now than we did when we had cable.
Probably.
Yeah.
And the whole point was to cut the cord and choose what you want. But we, end up
And now
paying
it's
even
like
more.
they got clever. At least there's a separate subscription you can buy just for the Yes Network for people who have cut the cord, because Yes is not included in YouTube TV or Hulu or any of the others. But the ridiculous thing is, like, if you're going to pay $20 a month just to be able to watch the Yankees, there are still games that are on other platforms
You're
you
getting
can't
60%
watch.
of the games.
Right.
Right.
It's unbelievable. And even the NFL is trying to fix this. They still have the local games that are kind of like fenced out. Like that you have to go to the local Fox or CBS affiliate. But at least now, they've pulled it from DirecTV. They've sold it to YouTube, so you're going to be able to buy an additional subscription and be able to watch all the NFL games in one location, which is a market improvement.
This is what's sad, though. This is happening in all the major sports where basically the fans are getting fucked and the only people that are winning in this are the TV
Or the
networks.
owners.
That's true.
You
And the
look at-
owners.
Look at the owners. You look at what's well. The irony is, I'm going to bring up the NFL as an example. I don't know if you saw in the new agreement that they just signed. So you know how the NFL has flex games,
Yep.
where if you're supposed to plan a certain day, they can flex to the next day, which can be a hassle because if you're a season ticket holder and you're planning to be with your family at a 1:00 game on Sunday, and all of a sudden they're telling you the game is now at 8:30 on Sunday, and you've got kids that
Or
need
Monday.
to be up, or Monday, and you've got kids that need to go to school. You're sitting there saying, like, is getting home at midnight really ideal on a school night? Probably not. And you kind of get screwed out of that, and then they have to try to sell the tickets, and you can't actually use them. They now, in the new agreement, they can flex all the way to Thursday,
Back to Thursday.
which is insane. I mean, imagine like you buy season tickets and spend a significant amount of money knowing that you're going to see your team play almost all the time on Sunday, sometimes on Monday, sometimes Thursday, and you're getting ready for a Sunday game. And all of a sudden they're like, nope, we're going to change the matchup and move it. We want it on Thursday night. I mean, most people don't have the time on Thursday when they have a family to
Yeah.
do that with their kids. So
After they drop probably $2
Yeah.
grand for 3 or 4 tickets.
yeah.
I mean, it's not like they're spending $30-$40 a ticket.
Oh, no.
Like you're
Well, yeah,
spending
it-
hundreds and hundreds of dollars.
It's also, let's say you bought them on the secondary market and you could get screwed.
totally.
That you can get screwed that way badly because that would suck. You buy the tickets on the secondary market, then your game gets moved. That would suck. But also, fans have been getting screwed. Season ticket holders have been getting screwed since the PSLs
Yeah, PSLs were a big
were,
thing.
were initiated, and so many people got screwed on that.
Yeah, that
But
should be
Giants
out.
fans and Jet fans. got
PSLs should
screwed
be
on
outlawed.
PSLs.
Yeah.
They really
I-
should be outlawed.
I did appreciate at least John Mara, the Giants owner, was vehemently opposed to flexing to Thursday. He had a small group of owners that hated the idea, but I think they got outvoted.
Yeah.
Horrible.
Yeah, I wonder what this is doing to the viewership, like with all the streaming stuff and the games not being on.
Well,
thi- I-
that's
I
why
mean-
they did exactly this stupid thing of now flexing Sunday games all the way to Thursday without any consequence, because all the Thursday night games they picked last season were shit games.
I thought Al Michaels was going to quit in the
Literally.
middle of some of these games.
Yeah,
They were
but,
so
no, but
bad.
I'm talking about MLB.
what was your
Like what's happening to the viewership? Is that declining? Because if you can't watch the games, I mean, how many different subscriptions are you going to have?
I don't
So
know. I mean,
guess
I
it's
got to
very
imagine
too
there's
early
a,
to tell.
I got to imagine there's a big segment of people who are unable to find these games. I mean, listen, we're pretty tech savvy, and the fact that we're going back and forth on a group chat all day trying to find baseball games, I mean, that's a pretty wild thing. And we're young and we're good at this stuff. Imagine being someone who's not good at that stuff, older, lifelong fan of a team, and you can't find a game.
Rooster, can you find the game?
Let me see. I think I might have to download the
This
VPN.
this is Puma.
Check
I
the
can't find the game. Where am I, Chicago?
Check my SIM card.
I don't know where I am.
as you're smoking a Caldwell in retirement.
I'm gonna put mine down. This is
Oh, mine's been down. Mine's been down for 10 minutes.
I'm still.
Guys, don't give up on it.
I'm not. It's not
I
that
haven't.
bad.
He'll never. He wouldn't give up.
I'm
on
telling you. I'm telling
Bam, I
on
don't
a-
know. I'm,
on a
I'm still
Garcia
in,
Vega,
I'm
he
still in
doesn't give
hell.
you are in hell. Yeah,
I'm still in hell.
I got you. I got you.
I don't see heaven
Coming up, huh?
coming up.
no silver lining.
Well, there's
No.
a little bit of a silver lining.
Yeah.
I think we should just kill the queen.
Oh man,
She's already in tears.
that's it, guys.
Put her out of her misery.
Right.
The one thing
That's
I will
today.
say is, while we were talking about MLB and NFL, I did do another cut because of the moisture on the
On it, yeah.
on the head of the cigar, just
Mhm.
because it's such a small ring gauge. I did another cut because I was starting to get a little tight,
Mhm.
maybe a little tarry, just from pulling on that closed up draw. So I did another cut. It opened right up, which
Sure.
was much better. But
Nice.
the other thing I wanted to say too, talk about people who've done it 100% well, as far as streaming and fan interaction.
NBA.
Well, no, I can't stand the NBA.
I know you
The
can.
But I'm
Masters.
sorry, you have to admit though, they do that well.
They do that
Sure.
very
Every
well.
Nets game's on Yes or ESPN, like a simple
And
channel everybody
It's
has.
awesome. You never want to miss. You can't miss a game.
But I
The
can't.
It's
NBA
awesome.
is a better product than it was
Oh yeah.
15
Yeah.
years ago. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
I'm just glad it's almost over because
All right.
baseball's back.
All right.
And all right, let's all agree on something.
Can we
Take it
mute?
easy.
Can we mute his mic? As Bam would
Take
say,
it easy.
please.
I mean, the NBA. I mean, if there was college hoops was the cat's meow for a million years until college hoops became a one and done sport. Now the NBA is where all the players are at.
Yeah,
I mean,
sure.
it's
That's a
at
good
least you
point.
can follow it.
That's
I
a
mean,
good
at
point.
least
What-
you can.
What don't you like about the NBA?
I'm just not a basketball guy. I mean, I didn't watch a single game
Right,
of the,
so-
the tournament. It's just not for me.
Mhm.
But let's all agree on something.
Hmm.
The Masters. So this episode is going to come out 2 days after the Masters. We're recording right before the Masters this weekend.
Yeah.
The Masters, one weekend a year, this exclusive club of old guard have found a way to absolutely nail every single thing about the experience, the broadcast, the fans, the app. Everything is great.
He's giving me goosebumps as he's saying it.
Me too.
Because I am
love
in
it.
lockstep with everything
It's-
he's saying.
The app,
I'm getting goosebumps
the
right
Masters app. I'm not even a golfer.
now. Fuck the
I
app.
am obsessed with the Masters
The-
because they provide me with such quality entertainment
It's
every
true.
single year,
The
and I
tele-
can't wait to watch that.
But
this
the
weekend.
television product is also
It's
outstanding.
unbelievable.
It's outstanding.
And you can open the app and you can watch 7 different broadcasts from 7
All the
different
different
holes.
holes.
It's awesome.
It's
with the
unbelievable.
ratings.
So
Awesome.
this is the delta in terms of the quality. So if you if you want to talk about one of the greatest broadcasts in sports, I think of all time
All time.
is the Masters.
All time.
You get my wife, who does not watch golf ever watch golf. She watches the Masters. You want
Yeah.
to know why?
That's cool.
Because it goes on high def.
It looks
Jim
amazing.
Nance comes on.
The music plays.
Hello,
and
friends.
you see the flowers
The gorgeous
and the music.
the
The
court-
azaleas.
right?
Azaleas.
There's a Bloody Mary involved.
somewhere in there.
You know what and she sits on the couch and she's like, I never watch golf, but I love
It's
I
an amazing
love watching
product.
the Masters because it's an amazing product.
Sure.
It's so beautiful to watch too. Like
it's beautiful to watch.
It really is.
There's it's the delivery, it's Nance, it's the production staff,
That's-
it's
that music,
it's the
too.
It's the
photography,
fake
it's the
birds
music,
chirping.
it's,
Yes.
all that.
I have a little golf perspective from a young golfer that I have in my house. And, he's part of a team and they watch golf. And, I'm sitting with my kid on a couch watching Live. And then we go to the Masters, right? And they're starting the production of that's on now. And all of his friends, not all, but a lot of them, they talk about the comparison between Live and the PGA. And from a young kid's perspective that loves the PGA, they all gravitate to the PGA.
Of course.
Yeah.
It's a better product.
And that says something when the young golfers are looking toward the accepted, the longer term entity that's there, like the PGA.
Yeah.
They prefer that.
Well, I think they can see the institution, right?
Oh, yeah.
And the quality product.
And they respect it. They respect it. At a young age, they respect it.
So I was gonna want to come back to something Gizmo said earlier about this old head, this maybe anachronistic private club. How are they getting it right so well?
I've been very lucky to be at the Masters in person 3 times, and they care about the patron experience in a way no one in history ever has. And literally, as soon as you just walk into Augusta National, you will see the happiest, most appreciative staff that you've ever seen in your life at any sporting event ever put on. It's so I was literally taken aback. I said to my friend who graciously brought me all 3 years I went, and I said, why are they so happy? Like, I've never, it's like they're treating you like you're literally family coming into a home. Every tiny little detail, they care that at every moment you're having the perfect experience. And Grindr, with how they haven't changed the concession prices in decades, literally $1.50 for the famous pimento cheese sandwich you get at the Masters or egg salad. It's a few dollars for a beer. They put them in Masters cups. They don't even tell you what beer you're purchasing. It's a secret every year. Although anyone who's tasted them knows the light beer is Miller Lite. The imported beer is Stella.
It's not Schlitz.
But it's just like it's mind-blowing. And it goes to even like we're talking about the TV broadcast, like every little detail is so remarkable. And the coolest thing for me, honestly, if anyone ever gets the chance to go to the Masters, the fact that there is to this day, and this is what bucks the trend of the entire PGA Tour, it is the only tournament you cannot bring a cell phone into Augusta National.
I love
period.
that.
That's cool.
You can't look up the score. You can't take a photo. You can't record a video. You can do nothing but focus on what's happening live in front of you. And you're looking at even how they're keeping the leaderboard and the score. It's manually a person turning each card.
That's
I mean,
cool.
I think the thing that to answer Grinder's question about why it's working for Augusta National is for how stuck in tradition they are and how old guard they are and how it's generational ticketing.
Well, I don't think it's
right?
stuck in tradition.
No.
I think it's deliberate.
What I'm saying is that despite all that, they've not been afraid of technology. They've not been afraid of using that technology to involve the millions and tens or hundreds of millions of people around the world who can't go to Augusta National. I feel great when the Masters come on.
The app is magical
because they make me feel like I'm there.
Sure.
And they give me a really good experience. And when Jim Nance comes on and the music starts playing and he goes, "Hello, friends," it's like gives me chills. And I don't play golf.
It's true, so dude. On what you just said there, Giz, this is so true. So the app was obviously game-changing years ago when they did that, and it gets better every year. You get angles from you get views from every different angle on certain holes. It's incredible. We were talking about the concessions and the experience, and obviously it's really hard to recreate unless you're there. They're so committed to you as a fan, as a viewer, being able to feel like you're there that I just saw this the first year. Everything we're talking about, you try the pimento cheese sandwich there, you get all this different stuff. They now ship this to you, to your house. You buy like a giant party pack, basically. You get the exact pimento cheese spread that they use and make the sandwiches, the exact chips that they sell at Augusta National, all of it.
I think we're going to end up at Senator's house.
We're going to Senator's on Sunday.
He'll have that delivered.
And the funny thing is, like, I like every patron who goes there, you collect the Masters cups, and they actually print the year of each one on the cups. I went 13, 14, and 15. And now with this pack that you can buy, they'll actually send you Masters cups to drink the beer out of, just like you're there. Like, there's no other sport that does stuff like this. It's so cool.
And I think that the overwhelming thing that's interesting to me about this is, again, I'm not a golfer, and for listeners out there who maybe because they're not golfers haven't tuned in, haven't cared about the Masters, really give it a shot, because I think it's one of the best television and sporting experiences. Even if you're not a golfer, it's an unbelievable weekend.
One thing we can't forget is how dramatic and riveting the golf itself is.
Yeah.
And when you have kids that are glued to the TV screen to a golf match,
says something.
It says a lot.
I remember the 97 Masters. Like that was a pretty pivotal moment in my life.
Yeah.
So let's make our predictions, even though this comes out 2 days after the Masters.
It's an incredible event.
Is Tiger going to win?
No, unfortunately.
I know. I'm kidding. So let's start first with our cognac, the D'Usse VSOP. Let's start with that. Bam Bam, what's your rating on that?
I'm going to give it a 6.
6. Grinder.
3.
3. Pagoda.
6.
6. Senator.
Wow. And the silence is deafening.
Grinder's rating was very harsh. So
very harsh.
Now I'm between a 6 and a 7.
Yep.
I'll give it a 6. That's what it is.
Okay, it's 6 for me for sure. Puba?
Yeah. I wouldn't buy it. I wouldn't order it. I'm out. It's just in the middle of the road for me. It's a 5.
Okay. Right. The formal liquor rating, boys, is a 5.3.
Yowza.
On the D'Usse VSOP cognac tonight.
Yowza.
And now we've come to the end of the Caldwell, along with the
Some
Queen.
of us have.
Queen's Sword. See how this goes. Let me get the calculator out for this one.
I'm disappointed because I wanted to like the cigar.
Me too.
Yeah, to Puba's point, I've never had a Caldwell cigar, and I've heard a few guys actually speak pretty highly of the brand, including Puba.
Yeah.
So I was really excited to try this, and the presentation of it. I mean, the bands look beautiful, the wrapper looked nice, the construction was good.
Yeah.
But man, it just really didn't deliver flavor wise. And actually, Giz, what was happening with you? I was getting tar at the end.
Yeah. Yep.
Same.
Not great.
I mean, it was promising in the beginning. Had it like continued, I would have been very happy.
Yeah,
But
true.
I don't know. It started like heaven and then went straight to hell.
And stayed in hell for
And
you?
stayed in hell. I never quite reached heaven again.
I
You,
don't
you didn't
know.
even make a stop in purgatory.
Yeah, no.
The middle third was the best for me, and then I had hope going into the last third, and then that was the end of it.
I was about to say, if you only spend the time on the blending as opposed to the label.
So,
Good point.
we should
Good
we
point.
should do the Eastern Standard. I mean, if
Yeah,
that-
we'll
If we
do
can
it.
find him.
Yeah, we'll find them.
they don't make them anymore.
I think they had the fire issue, so they're semi-discontinued, but we'll
okay.
see. But I will definitely find some. So, all right, let's do the formal lizard rating on the Caldwell Long Live the Queen Sword. Rooster, you're up.
I'll give it a 6.
6.
A generous 6.
Pooba.
I don't know, a 4.
Okay. I'm going to also give it a 6. Senator?
5.
Pagoda.
5.
Grinder?
I was between a 5 and a 4. I'm giving it a 4.
Okay. And Bam.
He loved it.
No, I didn't love it.
A 9.
No. I'm going to give it a 6.
6.
Yeah. I'll give
What
it a
happened to heaven?
Wow, look at he's smoked it down. His
I
fingers
have.
are burning.
You still spoke.
we'll
He's
talk.
very diligent.
Get the rating and we'll talk.
All right. So the formal lizard rating on the Caldwell Long Live the Queen Sword Lancero is a 5.1.
Wow. That's
Not
that's
good.
Brutal.
Not good.
Again,
that is definitely the weakest.
Here's my take.
Hard pass.
That's the weakest Lancero we've done.
Cut the first half inch off the top. Get rid of that 3 inch in the middle. Just get rid of it. Take that half inch down and bring it down to the final 2. It's delicious. But that's an awful.
So you're saying a half inch of the 7-inch cigar we smoked tonight was delicious.
3 inches of it was pretty good.
Okay.
I think that's what they call the short story.
Yeah, well, I mean,
kidding.
I think it's the rating is what it is. I think it's accurate.
So buy this cigar, bring a pair of scissors and some duct tape,
Yeah,
and you're gonna have a great smoke.
Perfect.
just
Scotch tape.
just grab a moil.
A moil.
Grab a moil.
obvi-
Do some kind of ritual and a circumcision, and maybe you'll get there.
So obviously for the lizards, if your arithmetic is not as strong, the harshness and pepperness of the cigar did not pair very well with the offensive.
It's a rough
taste
night.
of the
Rough night.
Yeah,
of the
it was a
VSOP.
harsh pairing tonight on both ends.
The other thing I'll say, I mean, we've talked about how hard it is to roll a lot of these smaller ring gauge cigars like Lanceros, but my appreciation somehow, which is already very high for it, has grown even more in the sense that when I cut this cigar on the cold draw, I thought it was pretty open and I didn't expect to have any problems. And the fact that even cutting this, I had a better draw on this than probably half the fundies I've even ever smoked.
Yep.
And yet down the stretch, and it's not like this, you'll look at the tip at the end of my cigar, it's not wet or anything like that. It really closed up and it had a hard time, the smoke really, the air getting through, and that goes into rolling. And whoever, I mean, they just have not done a great job with this Lancero.
Bad outsourcing of the rolling. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit disappointing because when we took the cigar out of the cellophane, I thought this would be.
Everybody
home
was
run.
impressed.
I thought this was. I mean, it smelled great.
Look great.
And
I would have
great
rated
looking
it just
cigar.
on the cold draw. I would have given it a 9.
Yeah.
True. Before smoking it, I was like, maybe it's like between an 8 or a 9.
See, but I think with Caldwell, I've had the Long Live the King. I've had the King is Dead. I don't know if these cigars are still around anymore. The AJ Fernandez one, and also the Eastern Standard. And guess what? They were head and shoulders above whatever this is. I don't know what the cigar is. I don't know why they were. Those cigars would rate. You know, I'm not saying they're 9s, but they'd rate much higher than this. This was not a good experience.
Well,
So
we've had good luck with Lanceros lately, so it was.
Yeah, it was due.
Yeah.
We were
Yeah,
due
I
for
hear ya.
we were due for a dud in the Lancero block here,
yeah.
and this is definitely the one.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
But I don't know if those cigars are available anymore. Who the hell knows? But
if they are, we'll find them.
it
and-
was years ago and over the last years, but I don't know.
listen, like
you
we're
know.
doing with a lot of other Vitolas, we're going to go back to some of the ones that disappointed us. We'll try them again and try some other stuff from them. We're not going to give up on Caldwell, but certainly tonight was a big miss.
Yeah.
All right, boys. So we had a 5.3 on the D'Usse VSOP Cognac and a 5.1 on the Caldwell Long Live the Queen Sword Lancero.
Perfect pairing.
Do say, you don't say.
All right, boys. That's it for tonight. We'll see you next week.
Keep smoking.
Hope you enjoyed this episode. Thanks for joining us. You can find our merch store and ratings archive at our brand new website, loungelizardspod.com. That's loungelizardspod.com. Don't forget to leave us a rating and subscribe on your favorite podcast platform. If you have any comments, questions, if you want to reach out, say hello, tell us what you're smoking, email us, hello@loungelizardspod.com. You can also find us on Instagram @loungelizardspod. We really appreciate your time, and we'll see you next week.